What?
Are you seriously recording?
What?
When?
Why?
Where? Who?
Go download your stuff.
Who?
Hey, Ethan, what are you going to eat?
What?
Alright guys, it's cold in my house, hence why I have a blanket. Today's finally the day. First, if you do not know, my name is Hannah Bloom. This is my channel. Today, I am going to be talking about something that I have held off for, and we're going to talk about it today. Am I ready? No. But to be completely honest, I don't think I'm ever going to be ready to talk about this. And I've been saying on my channel for a while, hey, you'll hear about this story, but not right now. And I will keep saying it, so today's the day that we're going to be talking about it. If I get emotional, I apologize. Not really, I mean, it's an emotional topic. But also, little warning, there's going to be graphics, so viewer discretion should be advised. All right, in 2019, I got into a very bad car accident. Like extremely bad. I could have died and I didn't. So I'm gonna go in order here. What happened is it happened 2019, sometime in December, and my cousin and I, we were driving. I was in the passenger side and she was the driver. And I was going to my grandmother's house, 5 minutes away from her house, okay? 5 minutes. And it's crazy because before this, her and I were talking about car accidents and how I was like, oh, that's not gonna happen. Man, did I jinx myself? I think so. Anyways, so what happened was she was driving and it was like our right of way. There was literally nobody out. I'm pretty sure it was like 9, 10, I don't know. I wasn't feeling good, so I wanted to go home. Well, yeah, I wanted to go home early. So we were at the light and we were turning. Like, if this is the light. Okay, so this is the light. We were turning and we did not have our seatbelts on. Okay. Why? I couldn't really answer that question. But we didn't. And she turned. Out of nowhere, I saw a bright like light, headlights, and okay, there's lanes here, we were going over this lane. Sorry if this doesn't make sense, but this is how I explain things. And so we were turning, we were allowed to, and then this car came like racing out of nowhere. I saw the headlights, I turned, and like I don't know. I guess it's like a blender because everything was shooken up, and talking about it now, like, it's still hard to talk about, but it's so surreal. It's just playing in my head. And what happened is my cousin ended up being fine. We had her dog with us, and her dog, like, jumped out of the car, ran into the street. She went to go get the dog, and it was like cold. Now it's Florida. It was not cold, it was hot. Yes, it's December, but it was not cold. It was hot. If you've ever lived in Florida, you'll know. I thought it was raining. It wasn't rain. It was my blood. So, yeah. What was happening is the glass broke and everything, and I couldn't open my eyes. I remember opening them a little bit, and then my cousin started freaking out. Like, I couldn't see myself, and so I bet if I was in her position, I would start freaking out too. I mean, we just got into a car accident, and who wouldn't freak out? So I told her, like, you know, call my grandmother, because I was like, I just told her I was 5 minutes away. She's gonna freak out. She doesn't know what's going on. So we called Grandma Susie, called my dad. My dad called my other grandma. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. I don't know. Like, I wasn't the one doing it. And then, thank God that there was this lady, I guess she was a nurse, again, could not see, and she, like, ran up, and she called an ambulance, and I started freaking out. The fear started, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, can I open my eyes? Can I see? And she told me she was a nurse, and I don't know if she told me her name or anything, but she kept on telling me, you know, don't open your eyes, everything's okay, like, the ambulance is coming. And I don't know if it was an anxiety attack, like, I've had them, so I feel like that's what that was, because I was just starting to freak out. The only thing I can think of is I'm gonna lose my eyesight. You know, I'm already blind with my glasses, and I was wearing my glasses. So I was like, why can't I open my eyes? Like, what's going on? And, like, I did try, okay. I did a little sneak peek, and what was I looking for? I don't know. I don't know why I looked, but I looked on, like, the ground where my shoes were, and I remember my flip-flops being there, and just, like, it was bright, and there was a bunch of glass. But, like, it was a split second, so that's all I saw. And then the fire truck, was it a fire truck? I know a fire truck came and an ambulance. I don't know who took me out of the car, but they didn't, I don't even know, because I don't know how they got me out of the car. I know, like, I said I was in the passenger side, so they, like, couldn't get me out of this door, so they had to go in through the front door, like, the driver's side door, and, like, it was real uncomfortable. One, I was hurting, and two, I couldn't see anything, so I was freaking out the whole time. And there was a guy on my side of the door, the passenger side, and he was just talking to me and telling me what was gonna happen and that they were gonna pull me out and just try not to move, which is very hard to do when somebody's trying to move you. It's like, I wanna help them get me out of this situation, but I was not allowed to, because, you know, I didn't know if something was, like, broken with me, and they didn't know, so yeah. I remember this guy who was like, are you okay? And I was like, no. And I wanted him to distract me, and I was like, can you, like, tell me a story, like something, like anything. I really don't care. And I don't know what he told me. I remember he said this is what he tells his kids or something. So, some type of like fairy tale, something. I don't know, but in that moment, I'm guessing it helped. And then pulled me out. They put me into the ambulance, and man, I was freaking out then. I was. Because I kept asking everybody, like, hey, am I gonna lose my eyesight? Do you know if I'm gonna see? Knowing they're not the doctors, they don't know that. Like, yeah. So that was like my main thing. And then they asked for like my name and all that stuff. And what happened? I was freaking out in the ambulance because I've never been in an ambulance when that happened, and I was just like, they said that they were gonna stick like a needle in me, and I think they had to give me blood. They did something, and I was freaking out. I was like, I've never had this done. Like, is it gonna hurt? And the guy was like, you're gonna be fine, just breathe. And like, oh, my anxiety was shot through the roof, and I was freaking out. I didn't want it to happen. And yeah, then we got to the hospital, which seemed long but quick at the same time, because where I was in, if you know Florida, where it happened was in Riverview. We drove all the way to Tampa. I don't know, it felt like a very short ride, but like long because I was freaking out about it, if that makes sense. And it was, I don't know what happened after that, to be honest. I was drenched in my own blood. Covered. And I don't know, I was freaking out. I was in the, like, I don't know if you guys know, but if you're ever in a crazy situation and you don't have your eyesight, that was the worst thing in the world for me, because I wanted to see what was happening. I was already scared, already freaking out, and then I wasn't allowed to see what was going on. I remember hearing my dad talk to the doctor, and that's all I wanted. I just wanted my dad. Like, I was freaking out, and you know, my dad's like the best person to talk to when I'm in a situation like that. Like, he's what I want. And like, hearing his voice, like, I started tearing up, and like, he came into the room. I'm gonna start crying. He came into the room, and like, I heard his voice, and like, it meant so much, because I know that he had work in the morning. I'm gonna cry. I know that he had work in the morning, and just like, I don't know, he would have gotten no sleep, and he drove that whole way, and it just meant a lot that he was actually there. And I even started crying and tearing up when I heard his voice, and he was like telling me not to do that because, you know, my eyes were what, like, the problem was, like, the big area. And then my cousin ended up going to another hospital. Her knee, I think, like, got swollen, but other than that, like, she was fine, maybe a little bit of bruising. And then I don't know what happened to her. I think, like, she stayed over there, but then Grandma Susie came to my hospital, And it was Grandma Susie and my dad. That's like all I remember being there. And it was just an insane experience. And I found out so much. I found out that the guy who hit us did not get charged and could have possibly been drinking, but was in like friends with the cop or something. So that's messed up, but you know, that's life. Crappy things happen and you can't do anything about it. So then I want to say like the doctor or whoever like came in, and so what happened is glass went everywhere. I wasn't wearing my seatbelt, and I found out if I was wearing my seatbelt, I probably would have died. And that took like a long time for me to like be like, should I wear a seatbelt? You know, but I do, because my friend was like, well, you know, if you're in another accident, the seatbelt could save you, because that's usually what they're supposed to do. So I do wear my seatbelt now, and you should wear your seatbelt too. Anyways, in the hospital, couldn't open my eyes. Then they did something to them, and then I opened them, and then we found out, well, okay, first of all, this whole part of my face was a gash, like you could see white tissue. And I know I made a comment about it, and I was like cracking up and making jokes, because apparently that's what I do. And I was just like, I told somebody, it was like one of the doctors or paramedics or I don't know, somebody. And I was like, do you know what a geode is? And the guy was like, yeah. That's what my head looks like right now. And I'm not gonna lie, it did. You know, a geode is a ugly rock, and then you crack it open, and then in the inside, it looks like beautiful, like glass particles. That's what my head looked like. Once you see the picture, you'll know. So, yeah. Then, after that happened, we were in there for so long. They had to give me more blood, and like, I think it was morphine or something. I don't know. I couldn't walk. It was awful. I had glass everywhere. I had glass all over my face. In my hands, in my feet. I really think that's all I had glass in. Maybe my chest. I don't know exactly what order this happened in, but I know that I had to have the glass taken out of my face, and that hurt so bad. And then they had to stitch up the gash and like get all the stuff out of it and like wash it, and that hurt so bad. I had a concussion, which like lasted, I don't even know how long. And that was awful, because till this day, I still don't remember half of the crap that happened. There's a lot, I'll randomly get times where it's like the memories come back, but a lot of them have not. So I just have the people around me to tell me what has happened, and that's really it, which sucks. But like that's apparently what happens when you get into a bad car crash. So yeah, after that, I ended up, they made me walk. I remember that. They fixed me up and they made me walk. They thought my neck was like not broken, but sprained, so they put the little neck thingy around me, and then they found out that it wasn't. But man, did my neck hurt? Yes. It felt sprained, but it wasn't. I remember being in an MRI machine and like them checking everything, and I wasn't allowed to fall asleep because I had a concussion, which I was at the hospital till, I don't know, 2 a.m. I was tired. And I mean, it was a lot. And everybody was by my side, and it was great. The support was there, and I remember that they made me walk, and it hurt so bad. Like, my body was so sore, and my feet hurt really bad. And then we found out when I got to my dad's house, there was glass in my feet. Like, no wonder why it freaking hurt. The glass was all in my feet. And like, he was pissed about it, which makes sense, because like, how do you leave glass in somebody's feet? I don't know. But my dad was able to get that out. I remember my siblings seeing me, and if you don't know, kids are brutally honest, and I will never forget that my brother was like, it really doesn't look that bad, which is good, because I was freaking out and I was thinking that, you know, my face was ruined, and so I will always remember that. Because, like, I don't know, it really did mean a lot that he said that, because I was like, okay, like, it's not that bad. And I couldn't see, I had an eye patch, I had glass and everything in my eyes, so, but good thing, eyes heal very fast. I was just extremely tired. I didn't want to eat. I'm sure I lost, like, a lot of weight. I just don't really know how much. And I don't know, it was just an awful time. And I'm just glad that I had family by my side. And I mean, that's all you can ask for when something bad like that happens. And the thing that like kills me the most with this is that I will forever have not all the memories, but the facial, like, what do you call it? Facial trauma, I guess. I have so many scars, and I'm embarrassed. I am. It is something that I will probably be forever insecure about. It's something that over the years, like, I'm like, oh, it's not that bad. But then sometimes it is really bad, and it's just like, but I did have this thing on my eyelid, and I don't know what it was, and it looked like a skin tag or something, or like a mole, and that really bothered me because I was like, that wasn't there, and then it fell off. So, like, literally it fell off last year. What was it? I don't know. I'm just glad it's gone. And look, I will show you Yeah, I know. Everybody that hasn't seen me without my glasses probably looks weird, but this is the big one that is a L. And then I have like this and like tiny ones, like one under here, and like, I don't know. I don't like my scars. And I know that the scars do not define me and blah, blah, blah. But all the people that have told me, like, you'll be fine, you're okay, like, they don't have scars. They're not going through what I'm going through. It's nice to hear, but, you know, I am the one who has to get through like this, and that it looks so much better than it did before. So I know with every age that I get, with every year that passes by, it's gonna look better, but it will still be there. And that's something that I have to live with. But it's not the end of the world. It could have been so much better, but of course my face, you know, the one thing that I see every day. If it was on my arm, you can cover that up. But your face, you can't really cover up. And I don't wear makeup. I could, but I don't. So, yeah, that is my story. And I'm sorry that it took so long, but I just really needed the time because this was very hard to talk about. And I mean, I hope that anybody that has gone through this experience comes out, and just having people stick by your side means the most when, I mean, not even if you're in a car crash, literally, it means the most whenever you are in need, that they're there for you. So if anybody has gone through this, I know it's hard. Trust me, I know it does get better. It's always gonna be there, but it will get better. And just stay safe. Never text and drive, okay? I hate when people do that. At a red light, okay. A little quick one, but that's it, okay? Don't be doing makeup in the car. Don't be too distracted. You just need to stay safe. And, you know, for me, for her and I, myself and my cousin, it was like a freak accident. Like, it was not our fault. We didn't think that was gonna happen. So, I don't know, bad things happen all the time. It's just, you know, maybe if that guy was paying attention, if he wasn't drinking, whatever, you know, it wouldn't have happened. So, whichever side you're on, just be careful and watch yourself and look out for others. That is my advice. I hope everybody stays safe.